There will be no poetry at my funeral.
Yeah.
Yes!
At the very least, none of mine. If anyone in attendance has the gall, the unmitigated gall, to request for someone to read my poetry at my own funeral, instead read for them The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot. All 50 pages and 15,250 words of it, but replace all of the 100 or so footnotes with a Rupi Kaur poem each. And make sure to perform this amalgamation of poetry like you're doing a D+ Christopher Walken impression. Why not? According to the website www.readingblank.com, this should take approximately 1 hour and 1 minute. Very cool. Once you are done, tell the requester, yeah, that's pretty much what Marc's poetry was like. Do this in remembrance of me. There will be no casket at my funeral. At least no 4- or 6-sided velvet-lined 80 by 30-inch 180-pound box made from dark cherry wood or 18-gauge steel. None of that. Instead, my casket will take the form, shape, and make of a sandpaper dodecahedron. And if anyone has the gall, the unmitigated gall, to question this funerary aberration, point to the very large sign with tiny, tiny font at the bottom of this abomination of carpentry, which will read, with the aid of a magnifying glass, as follows: Sandpaper dodecahedron casket, because Marc had a few rough edges. Take anyone who has the gall, the unmitigated gall, to burst into laughter because they enjoy my sense of humor, and reseat them in the naughty corner of the chapel. Do this in remembrance of me. My funeral will be open casket, or open sandpaper dodecahedron, to better display my remains in peaceful repose, or as serene and beatific as a corpse can be, considering I will have ended my life by jumping into a trash compactor, after having written into my will that I want only those apathetic unpaid interns from the most indifferent morticians to try and put my Humpty Dumpty Borgans being of course a portmanteau of bones and organs, because again, trash compactor, back together again, and presumably they'll attempt to accomplish this Mother Goose miracle through the use of office staples and hot glue and of course, duct tape. Do this in remembrance of me. For the testimonials, make sure whomever volunteers takes care to be as vague and reminiscing as possible, as if any meaningful details about my life and my personality are somehow state secrets. Here are some suggestions for what shall be considered acceptable testimonial material. You may tell everyone in attendance that I enjoyed music. Just music. No name dropping of bands or artists. Anyone who mentions my favorite bands and singers and composers. Anyone who has the gall, the unmitigated gall, to try and share with my friends and family which songs I like because they made me feel things, will be forced to sit in the naughty corner of the chapel. Do this in remembrance of me. Tell everyone that I was funny. Don't tell them how or why. Tell them I was always just so goddamn funny, like damn, dude, you don't even know. Tell them it was a problem, that I had to limit the amount of time I spent around any one person or else risk causing them to laugh themselves to death. If anyone claims to recall a time where I wasn't being funny, tell them, no, you're thinking of some other guy. That wasn't Marc. You were during that unfunny moment, because if that was Marc, that moment would have been funny. And if anyone has the gall, the unmitigated gall, to inquire as to the destination of my soul now that I've gone and left of my own accord, tell them, no, you know what? That's enough swerving for one memorial service. Let's stick with the classics this time. So remind them that I'm going to hell. To be more specific, remind them that I, like Sarah Teasdale, like Kurt Cobain, Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain, Chester Bennington, like Julian Medina, will be sent to the second ring of the 7th circle of hell to spend an eternity in the wood of suicides, our bodies grafted into oak trees, tormented by harpies, able to speak only when our trees are made to bleed. Remind them we deserved this. But maybe that's a little too Catholic. Let's non-denominationalize it to avoid alienating the audience. Remind them then that suicide is the unforgivable sin. That if God will not forgive me for rejecting his breath of life, then not a one of God's children can forgive me either, because isn't this what the pursuit of righteousness is all about? Being closer to God? Isn't the idea of showing more compassion than the divine categorically an act of blasphemous futility? I've been told that if you're taking a test and don't know the answer to a particular question, you should just skip it instead of wasting all your time trying to figure it out. Who cares how much you got wrong so long as you passed the class? After all, an oak tree is just an oak tree. Leave us to the harpies. Do this in remembrance of me. Tell everyone I enjoyed going to ski resorts, but leave it ambiguous as to what I actually did while at the ski resort. If someone asks, what did Marc do at ski resorts? Sell drugs? Tell them, no, I don't think Marc sold drugs at ski resorts, but you know what? If that makes you feel better. If deciding that Marc sold drugs at ski resorts helps you return to work sooner, well, isn't that what really matters?